for the current Russian Army Unit C. 154th Preobrazhensky Independent Commandant's Regiment. The Preobrazhensky Regiment was one of the oldest and elite regiments of the Imperial Russian Army, and in 2013 was recreated for the Russian Armed Forces, along with the Semyonovsky Regiment. The Preobrazhensky Regiment also served as a gendarmerie unit for the state Secret Chancellery in the 18th century, headed by the Prince Fyodor Romodanovsky. It was formed by Peter the Great in the late 17th century from his poteshnye voiska during his military games in the village of Preobrazhenskoye. The Preobrazhensky Regiment distinguished itself during the Great Northern War of 1700 to 1721, the Patriotic War of 1812, and the Russo-Turkish War of 1877 to 1878. The regiment was disbanded by its last commander, Colonel Alexander Kutupov, in December 1917, the bodyguard of Catherine the Great, as well as the main supporter of her bloodless coup against her husband Peter III. This regiment was declared the highest in order of military precedence from the 14th of July 1762. In the 18th and 19th centuries, membership was reserved to young Russian aristocrats and was considered a proof of loyalty to the government and the Tsar. Among its membership was the Russian composer Modest Mussorgsky. Timeline: 1683 – Peter the Great begins to assemble the drill regiments. Initially the number of soldiers was fewer than 50. 1687 – Drill regiments become the Semyonovsky Regiment and Preobrazhensky regiments of the regular army. 1695 – Preobrazhensky Regiment takes part in the Azov campaigns. 1696 – The regiment is divided into 4 battalions and 2 separate companies of bombardiers and grenadiers. 1700 to 1720 takes part in all major battles of the Great Northern War. 1700 – Before the Battle of Narva is officially named Leibgard Preobrazhensky Regiment. 1706 – Tsar Peter the Great adopts the military rank of Colonel of Preobrazhensky Regiment. 1722 – Takes part in the war against Persia. 1722 – According to Russian table of ranks, soldiers of Preobrazhensky Regiment were to be considered 2 ranks higher than in ordinary units. 1726 – Moscow Company of Preobrazhensky Regiment becomes a separate Moscow Leibgard Battalion and later Murom Leibgard Battalion. 1737 to 1739 – War against Ottoman Empire. 1737 – Takes part in the Battle of Ochakov. 1742 – War against Sweden. 1762 – On the 17th of July declared first and highest in the military order of precedence in the Imperial Russian Army and the Imperial Russian Guard. 1789 to 1790 – War against Sweden. 1796 – Battalions of the Preobrazhensky Regiment are named according to the chiefs. 1st Battalion, His Majesty. 2nd Battalion, Lieutenant General Tatiskev. 3D Battalion, General Field Marshal Suvorov. Grenadier Battalion, Major General Akshayev. 1805 As a part of the Grand Duke's Corps of Guards, the 1st and 3rd Battalions leave St. Petersburg for Austria on the 22nd of August. On the 2nd of December take part in the Battle of Austerlitz and return to St. Petersburg on the 19th of April 1806. 1807 In February the regiment, consisting of all 4 battalions, starts the march as a part of Grand Duke's Corps of Guards. On the 5th of June engages NEY's troops near Gutstadt and Altkirchen, and on the 14th of June takes part in the Battle of Friedland, returns to St. Petersburg in August. 1808 On the 9th of September the 2nd Battalion of the regiment enters the corps of Major General Stroganov in Wilmenstrand. 1809 on the 10th of March, being a part of the corps of Lieutenant General Prince Bagration, starts its march to Sweden through the Åland Islands. On the 14th of March fights the enemy's rearguard on the island of Lemland. On the 17th of March stops on the Eckerö Island, closest to the Swedish shore, and after the talks with Sweden begins moving back, returns to St. Petersburg in October. 1811 The regiment is transformed into 3 battalions. Each battalion now comprises 1 grenadier company and 3 fusilier companies. 1812 As a part of the Grand Duke's Corps of Guards, the regiment moves in March to Vilno, where it joins the 1st Western Army of Barclay de Tolly. On the 7th of September takes part in the Battle of Borodino. During the French retreat from Moscow, the regiment was in the reserve all the time and returns to Vilno in December. 1813 On the 13th of January the Guard crosses the Niemen River in the presence of the Emperor. On the 2nd of April participates in the Grand Parade in the presence of the Emperor and King Frederick William III of Prussia. On the 14th of April triumphantly enters Dresden. On the 2nd of May takes part in the Battle of Lutzen. On the 19th, 20th and the 21st of May the regiment is a central reserve under the command of Grand Duke in the Battle of Bautzen. On the 28th of August and the 29th of August, being a part of 1st Guards Infantry Division under the command of General Yermolov, is distinguished in the Battle of Kulm. 1814 On the 13th of January in the presence of the Emperor Alexander I, the regiment crosses the Rhine at Basel and as a part of the reserve of the main army under Barclay de Tolly, participates in every offensive and retreat until the Battle of Paris. On the 31st of March triumphantly enters the capital of France. 1st Battalion of the regiment has its bivouac near the Palace of Tuileries. After staying in Paris for more than 2 months, the regiment leaves for Normandy, embarking at Cherbourg on the 15th of June and on the 12th of August entering St. Petersburg through the Triumphal Arch constructed by the Emperor's order in the memory of excellent service of the Guard in 1812 to 1814. 1877 to 1878 War against Ottoman Empire. 1906 1st Battalion excluded from the regiment and stripped of Leibguard privileges. Instead, the new 1st Battalion of the regiment is formed from Cavaliers of the Order of St. George and Heroes of the Russo-Japanese War. 1914 to 1917 World War I. 1917 participated in the February Revolution by the mutiny on Monday the 12th of March leading to the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II. Disbanded in December by Alexander Kutupov, its last commander. 2013 re-established as 154th Preobrazhensky Independent Commandant's Regiment. Flag. The regimental flag was of St. George's colours with the inscription for displayed feats in Battle of Kulm 17th of August 1813. This colour was given to the regiment in order to celebrate its action at Kulm, where the outnumbered Preobrazhensky Regiment withstood the charge of French troops. March. The well-known March of the Preobrazhensky Regiment was written in the time of Peter the Great. It was also used as an unofficial national anthem in imperial times. It is used often in Russia, also in the annual Victory Day parade for the trooping of the colors. It is also the slow march of the Royal Marines. Several people have written lyrics for the song. It is not believed to have been officially used in the Soviet Union, but it had been played by Soviet military orchestras. Notable people who served in the Preobrazhensky Regiment: Abram Petrovich Ganibal, Modest Mussorgsky,